Good morning, everyone. Just got off of RVing with G's Live, and I thought maybe I might go here for about an hour at least, and then after this, go raid Down Under Cruisers, which I absolutely love their accent. Um, they are from Melbourne, Australia. Good morning. And hey, Fairy Dust Pena and Laura, and thanks our being with G for the raid. Hey, Ariel. Hey, Solix. Thanks for coming in. And I'm gonna try to hey, Najuma Brown. Thanks for coming in. I'm gonna drop. How's everyone's day been? I know some of them have just started. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. It's hard to believe that it's midweek already. I'm gonna drop a link here. If anybody would like to come up, you're more welcome to do so. But please note I will only bring you up if I know you and that you've been to my channel a couple times before. And if you have a camera and I can see you. I know I got one more exam today at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a midterm exam. Uh, it's going to be on engine computer controls today. Uh, but like I said, ooh, sorry to hear that about that, Brian. Hope everything goes well there, Brian, from B&D Crafts and More. Hate to hear that. Whoop.
Hi,
Hey,
Kenneth.
Lauren. I think this is. Hey, Jeffrey Resendez. I think this is your very first time up on my panel, isn't it, Lauren?
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for coming up.
Oh, no problem. We got to stick together, you know?
Yes, ma'am. Um, so what? I know you said that your channel is traveling with special abilities.
Right.
Um, what all do you do on that channel?
Um, I'm disabled. I have MS, so I use a wheelchair.
Oh, okay.
Um, I have a couple other disabilities that make it hard for me to move around. Um, I have a thing called Ellis-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue disorder. So
Oh,
I
okay.
dislocate my shoulders, arms, wrists, elbows, knees, things like that. So I have a hard time walking, and I get dizzy, and I take seizures sometimes. So
Mhm.
it depends on my stress. The seizures are more because of stress. I don't have epilepsy,
Ah,
but
that's good.
I travel. I try and go as many places as I can. I'm going to be trying to buy a bus and convert it so that I can travel more
Mm,
and be safe and have a house and my animals with me. You saw some of them tonight.
yeah. You have some beautiful animals. Uh,
Oh,
what
thank you.
what uh, what type of animals? I mean, see, you that was a cat you had up on his pedal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that one's my new cat.
Okay.
Somebody jumped him on the side of the road, and he ran up to me through the dogs, ran up to me and just held on to me, and I had to take him in. My neighbor said that he watched the lady throw him out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. I used to have a animal rescue, so I can't just let an animal be thrown out of a car. But I have two dogs. My daughter lives with me. She has one dog. And then I have two cats, and she has two cats. And then I have a finch, a little bird.
Mm.
So I have quite a few animals.
Uh, so, how long have you had? How long have you had your YouTube channel?
Um, it's about a little over a year, maybe almost 2 years now. But because of COVID, and I'm such high risk that I pretty much locked myself in the house so that I wouldn't get COVID because I have COPD and asthma too. So I would probably die from COVID if I caught it. So I try to be real, real careful of where I go, and
Yeah, that's
that way the bus
that's
will
the
help
same
because
way.
I can.
Yeah.
That must be your
Uh,
your thing too, right? Hard to get out and do what you want to do.
well, I've been born with cerebral palsy, and that's where
Right,
my muscles and stuff didn't form right when I was a baby.
right.
So, and then I also have a disease called hydrocephalus, which is like fluid on the brain.
Yeah, I know what that is.
And I
Yep.
and I, and I have a shunt that drains it
That's
out.
good. Yeah.
Uh,
You got
it
to get it
goes from
replaced every now and then.
all, I had to have it replaced 2 or 3 times in my lifetime. This last time that I had it replaced, technology they've technology is a wonderful thing. Uh,
Oh yeah.
they this last time that I had it replaced, uh, they said that I should never ever again have it ever have to have it replaced again because they put a magnet in there to make it magnetized so they can adjust it. If I ever need some adjustments, they can adjust it with a magnet.
Oh, that's
And
good.
they can like put on high, low, medium, or whatever, ever how the settings are set. And it's still got the button on it to where you can feel if it's still working. Um, hey, Bama Rush. Well, I, w- I, w- I wasn't expecting. Hey, Joseph Dunn.
Hi,
Eh,
everybody.
on the Facebook side. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be going live here at 4 a.m. in the morning, but because I was expecting to be on Down Under Cruisers because they usually have this time slot, but they're not coming on for another. They come on at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So,
Right.
uh,
Well, maybe because of the time change.
yeah, probably. Uh, well, see, they're in Melbourne, Australia.
Right.
So, but yeah, but anyway, they put me enough lining and tubing in there to last me the rest of my life.
That's
So,
awesome.
so, and I don't have to go back to the actual doctor that did the surgery to unless I had start having an issue. So, and it's been I've had it done. I guess it's been about 4, 5, maybe 10 years now since I last had it done,
Wow, that's good.
and I've not had any issues. And but like I said, at least they can take a magnet and adjust it that way.
Right.
Uh, because um, I just had to be careful, and not jerk too fast or not, do just that thing loose, But
No riding bucking Broncos for you.
that's the reason why I can't do nothing like bumpy, like roller coasters or anything like that because that would definitely draw that thing loose. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, and and last time uh, I had that, I didn't think I was actually going to didn't think I was actually going to survive long because the doctors kept putting it off, kept having real bad headaches because no matter what I did, whether I took some medicine or anything, I couldn't eat or drink anything because couldn't hold nothing down. And uh, so I kept went to the hospital and stuff, and they did some tests, and I'm like, they couldn't find nothing. And they said it was ventricles or something or something. I don't know what. But anyway, uh, so uh, they gave me a shot that that did take the headache away, and it actually almost stopped my heart exactly.
Oh my goodness.
But they said with that type of shot that's normal, and because everybody else has had it and it's done the same thing to them. Well,
Oh yeah, let's do it to everybody then. Oh,
well, it knocked me out. I went to sleep, slept for a good several hours, and I woke up and I felt pretty good then. But then started going home, go home, went to bed. 'Cause I felt pretty decent. And then right back the next morning that okay, thanks Laura for coming in. But right back the next day the headache come and I'm like, hey something else got to be wrong.
right.
I mean and so anyway, I so right back to the hospital I go again, and finally I saw an eye doctor, and he looked in my eyeballs, and and he he said he said it's definitely the shunt because my pupils was 10 times as big as what they should have been,
Oh yeah.
and what was happening was that fluid was building up pressure in behind the eyeballs, and I was developing papilledema, which is what where your pupils get 10 times as big as what they should have been.
Right.
Good morning, James. Uh, but anyway, he said, "Yep." He said, "So we couldn't find no neurosurgeon to do the surgery here in the um
Tennessee? Are you in Tennessee?
Tennessee, and so I had to have it done in Johnson City, Tennessee. So and the neurosurgeon was Dr. Doulevant, and he did some. They scheduled me for surgery, and I felt pretty felt really good after that. And now I won't say I felt 90% better at the time. I didn't feel 100% better at the time because I was in some pain with the way they had to turn my head and neck to be able to just stick it down in there to run it down into my stomach and stuff like that. Uh,
Right.
but
So it pulls muscles and makes you unnaturally stretched.
yeah, well, they had to turn my head a certain way to where they could stick it down in there and then cut me right down here on my belly right down here and finish pulling it down through there the rest of the way. And
Right.
so anyway, I after all that, the headache was gone, because it actually was relieving that fluid and relieving that pressure back through there. And so I felt pretty good there. Uh, but and of course, I could where they had to cut my stomach down right there. It kind of hurt to laugh or something because it was hurting them muscles. It was in the stomach.
Right.
I was like, I was like, as Dad would say something funny, so he'd try to keep it. I was like, Dad, don't do that. It hurts. And but uh, but anyway, I so and then he a couple days later they had me come in. They took the stitches out, looked at everything, said you're looking good. Said you don't have to come back. I think I went back a year later, and then after that, I checked to see, and then after that, he said, "Don't come back to me no more unless you start having
More
issues."
headaches.
So
So how do you feel now?
feel pretty good. It's like I said, it's been. Now they said, now I'm going to I am going to have normal headaches, just like anybody else would.
Right,
Uh,
but not those kind.
but but not nothing like where no matter what you do, it's not going to go away.
Right, right.
So, but
It's nice to say normal headaches.
yeah, most of the time I get.
Anytime you can put normal in front of it, it makes it better.
Yeah, well, that actually kind of reminded me of a migraine.
Yeah, my daughter gets atypical migraines and she has to go get shots. They're so bad. But it's just stress, you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't every now and then I get a headache, but usually if I take a nap or uh take some type of Motrin or something to
It'll go away.
it'll go away usually. And then
Yeah.
I usually just eat some soup and stuff like that around to kind of
Yeah,
uh,
mine are mostly allergies and that
yeah.
causes all that pressure.
But yeah, it actually felt pretty good to get back to normal after all that, after going through all that.
Did I hear you say you were hiking? You
Yes,
actually were hiking?
I actually, if you go back on, if you follow a channel called Magnificent Germany with Darian, um, he put out a video from the meetup this past weekend.
Oh, okay.
It was on Saturday, actually. Um, and we after we went to breakfast that Saturday morning, um, we went to a hike. Good night, Jeffrey Resendez. Thanks for coming in.
Night.
Uh, we we had went to Anna Ruby Falls in Helen, Georgia, and uh, and it was like think if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was like 4.5. Thanks for sharing that link, Bama Rush. Yeah, it's same here, Jeffrey Resendez. I I I I'd been asleep and Dad woke me up about 2 o'clock and he thought I was gonna be late for school. I was like, no, it's just 2 o'clock in the morning. But I gotta get up anyway. I gotta get up anyway here and about just about an hour or so. Get ready to go to school this morning because my net trans is gonna pick me up around 7:16 this morning, and they require you to be ready an hour early plus travel time. And I
Right.
and I don't know why because they don't hardly ever come an hour early. They usually come right around when they say they're going. When they send you that automated machine call thing.
Right.
Uh,
Mine picks me up sometimes late.
yeah, and but anyway, so what it was a very there was like about I think a total of 31 different channels that
Wow.
came to this meetup. Now I will say that some were just supporters. Uh, they're not content creators, but
Oh,
then
okay.
but
Hey, your fans are your fans.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. But now but I think the biggest majority of them were content creators. Yeah, it was. I will say it was a very, and I can't wait for the next one because he is actually, um, uh, he, um, he's actually talking like it might be a yearly thing. I'm not sure.
I can hear you.
He's actually talk. He's actually talking like it might be a yearly thing, but not exactly sure yet.
Well,
You
that would
haven't
be
watched
awesome.
the video yet? It's a really cool video.
I haven't seen it yet. Do
He
you have a
also
link
has
on
a
your channel?
hey. I am getting ready to go. Hey, down. Speaking of the Down Under Cruisers, I'm getting ready to go raid you right after this live. I was hoping the RVing with G would stay on, but he said he had to go, so he had homework to
They
do.
all they all got work or homework or just you
Yeah.
and me kids don't have nothing to do.
Well, I got it pretty easy. I just got midterm exam at 9 o'clock this morning, and I'll be. Oh, you're very welcome down under cruisers. It's a pleasure and an honor to get to raid you. I love you. I love your accent. I especially love the way you say my name. uh, but but anyway, um,
I was checking out the chat too.
yep. Yep. Um, and there's the whole city itself is only a mile long, so you only got a mile and a half this way and a mile and a half that
And a stoplight in the
so
middle or a stop sign?
well you got lights in, you got stoplights in. Hey, J and Ed Travels, thanks for coming in.
Hi, y'all.
And yeah, and but anyway, and then they got some quite a few German restaurants. Um, I actually uh one of them is called Hoffers. They have that's where we ate breakfast at. Um, they have a really good breakfast. I got the Bavarian cold cut, uh, which is like
Oh,
which is like different several different types of meat. Like it's got like salami, bologna, ham. I think it even had pickle loaf. I think. Um, and then you got eggs with cheese, uh, grits, stuff like that, and you got several pieces of bread. Oh, speaking, Bama Russ, you're talking about beaver. Yes, I did the down. Yes, I did down under cruisers. I got some beaver nuggets,
be- beaver nuggets. Oh, there you go.
which is um it's
They-
got like the caramel corn,
oh,
and as you can
I thought
see,
maybe pork rinds. They were kind of like pork rinds.
I opened these. I opened these last night,
Oh,
and I about ate the whole pack. That's how good these things are, and you can only get these at Buck. You can only get these at Bucky's,
yeah,
which
we got
is
Buc-ee's. We have Buc-ee's in Texas.
thanks, Jan Travels. It was a great experience. Several people was wondering if I would ever make it, but I was actually I was actually determined to do that. So, and like I said in the video, I learned a long time ago that if I ever um if I just quit and not do anything, then I'd never get anywhere.
That's right.
In other words, I would just waste away. So
That's my motto. You know, if you and I can do it, they can do it too. You know,
I've always been told I can do anything. Yeah, I am a little bit. I will say that I am. I will admit I am sore, but not near as bad as I was the day after I did it, and the day. But
that would have been a lot for me.
um,
Would have been a
well,
hard road for me.
Darian, he even uh, okay. See you in a few at down under cruisers. Um, I was I've always been told, or I was taught also, I can do anything I want to do if I put my mind to it.
Right.
I've got to have that want to and desire to.
The determination, the
Yeah,
mindset.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because my cousin, he always told his kids. He said he told them. He said, now there's no such word as I can't. Either you want to or you don't want to. So he gave them the choice, and that's the way. Love you too, Fairy Dust Pena. Um, they so now they have taught their kids the same thing, and so it's a family generation type thing.
That's
Um,
a good thing. It's a good motto. It's
yeah,
not that you can't, it's that you won't. You won't try. You can't do it if
yeah.
you don't try.
You gotta at least try before you say,
Or I won't.
yeah.
Because it's not that
But
you can't do it, it's just you won't put the effort in,
I'm
or you
glad
won't
that
endure the pain,
Sorry
or
about that, guys. I knocked the can off the I knocked the can off the table.
uh oh.
I'm glad there wasn't nothing in it. Glad I
I
had it
do,
gone.
I
Hang
do
on here.
that all the time, Kev.
Well, I had it sitting beside my computer, and I like to try to be careful and not spill things. Because I've learned a long time ago, electronics and liquid don't go, don't mix.
I spilt cranberry juice on my computer because I
Yeah.
couldn't hold the container. It slipped. My grasp ain't good, and it just slipped out and went right on my computer. So now I have no computer.
Hmm. But wow, 10 thumbs up and 10 people in the house. I'm actually surprised I got this many people with me on this early in the morning because I
I
don't get.
know. Look at them all. Wow.
Yeah,
Hi y'all.
yeah, I appreciate everybody coming over for Marvin with G. Uh, but what I like about my professor is that when we take our exam, he lets us use our sources, our book, internet, notes, whatever we got on hand. Uh,
That's awesome.
because he knows that when we go out into the real work world, we're gonna have access to that stuff anyway. So
Right.
he wants us to try to get acclimated on uh,
How to source any kind of
how,
problem.
how to find it, how to find your answer,
Right.
and
That's that's how my daughter learned how to change her timing belt because of YouTube.
yeah, well, that's one of the things I want to put out on my channel is some how-to videos uh,
There's a need for
for
it.
for auto mechanics. Yeah,
That's how I'm
but
learning about solar, so I can put it on my bus.
here in about 10 minutes, we're gonna go raid down under cruisers. And if one of my mods could drop that link uh, for when it gets closer to the time, um, it's greatly appreciated. um, but and tell them when you go up there, tell them it's a Ford man raid. and but anyway, so and the sad part is that they've had that I kid you not, even my professor and his assistant both have said that that um, they've had students still make 30s, 40s, 50s, and fail it, even when they got the resources right there in front of them. I'm like, now how do you fail an exam when you got your
When you
sources
got the
right
answer,
there? I mean, and of course, some of them don't. I mean, some of them are, they don't want to look it up, and
that's that's
you
just
know,
lazy.
and I'm like, hey, me, I've only had two professors that will allow you to do this, and that was my auto electrical uh, professor, and then the one I have now that's teaching us about the engine computer controls and body and chassis electronics, uh, which is what I had yesterday for the midterm exam. Yesterday was the body and chassis electronics. It was sixty
And you
three. It was 63 questions long.
and you think you got 100 on it?
If I didn't, I know I at least come close. Now I did have with the way he had some of the questions worded, they were kind of iffy, Um,
They
but
do that to trip you up.
but I guarantee you, uh, I guarantee you, I probably did better than some of them did in there. Because I mean, half of them are just to get that. Let's see, Belarus. That's not very long. This live from me was at RBG 10 on panel. Yeah. Um. But anyway, they um yeah, and they don't half of them sleep, and a lot of them are in there just to get that Pell
Just
Grant, and then once they get that Pell Grant, then they're gone.
right.
But then they don't realize that down the road they're gonna have to pay that Pell Grant back
That's right.
because they're
I had
going
to pay mine back.
because thankfully I don't have to do mine because I've stuck with it and
Well, I was taking psychology.
okay, that's cool, Bama Rush. Um, so what classes did you take in college?
Psychology.
Psychology. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was your so I take it that was that your major?
That was my major, yeah. That's
Mm,
what I wanted to be. But my memory with the MS, your memory is bad. So I'd have to just learn it, take a test, and then I'd forget it almost right after the test. You know, it didn't stick. I was getting a 4.0 grade point average, but it
mm.
just didn't stick, you know? Yeah, I
See,
remember some of it, but not all of it.
I always have a problem with hang on a minute. Dad's hollering at me. Hang on a minute, guys. I'm back, guys. Um I always have a problem with comprehension.
Yeah,
Like I could sit here and read you something all day long, but I couldn't tell you a thing about what I just read.
right.
Even with me taking this, I know some people probably think, "How in the world are you going to work on cars if you can't remember anything?" I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know.
You can,
Even the best mechanic, even the best
yeah,
mechanic out there, he don't even remember everything.
no.
Um, and
I have to do it to remember it, you know? I have to actually go through it, do it, and then I'll remember. But to read it and keep it, it don't stay.
yeah, but I had a elementary I had an elementary teacher. It was a reading and English teacher, and she could not understand. We had to take those accelerated reading tests on the computer, and she did not understand. How come I could not comprehend what I read? And she'd get so mad at me because I would fail at all them tests, and I'm like, I can't help it because I just can't. And I mean, that's just and so
That's the way your brain works.
I had to I had to come home, tell dad, and they had to have an IEP meeting, they call it, and get her to understand that that's just something that I'm gonna have to work on or live with,
You
and
got to learn to learn a different way. That's how I had to do it. My
yeah,
teacher put me in the back of the room and told my parents I was dumb. And I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb at all. It's just
mm,
I couldn't remember.
yeah, and but they could not um she could not understand. And so I barely passed that class. I come out there with satisfactory. That's
Well, that
what,
was good. They kept me back. They kept me
yeah.
back. And then my next teacher was great with me. She knew, you have to have a good teacher that understands what you're going through.
And yeah, even with me taking this auto mechanic courses and stuff, it's hard for me to comprehend everything that I'm learning and stuff. I
It's
have a hard time.
complicated.
I have a hard time comprehending what I, like I said, read and stuff when I read the books and stuff and things. And when the teacher throws a bunch of stuff at us at one time, because see right now with this pandemic situation, we're only allowed 2 hours at a time on campus, and we have to wear a mask and social distance
Right.
and follow the CDC guidelines. And anyway, uh, they so he has to. he- that was my alarm going off. I set it for 5 o'clock, so I'd be sure I was up, and I'm up. So,
You're up.
um, but anyway, I had um, so he's having to teach us at like um, with lab and lecture all within a 2 hour period.
That's quick.
Yeah,
That's short
yeah,
amount of time.
yeah, and it doesn't. And we're really only supposed to. Of course, thankfully, he allowed me a little extra time to take my exam yesterday. Hey, Solix, you need to come up on my live. I haven't had you up on my panel,
Hi,
and
Celeste.
I've enjoyed having you up, Lorraine.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
kind of new.
you're welcome here anytime.
Thank
I
you. You're
I
welcome on mine.
yeah, I love I like keeping my channel family friendly and
Me too.
and I like it. I like because I never know who's watching because I'm actually streaming off of both Facebook and YouTube, and I have some people on my Facebook that are like from my church and stuff, and I don't want them to think less of me than what you know. Uh,
Yeah, I
uh,
know what you mean.
yeah, so I try
Well,
to keep it
you're
family.
safe with me. I'm a minister.
Okay, yeah. Uh, so, but anyway, so he's having to do all that. And the funny thing is that when we're in class, we're having to split each lab up into three sections. And I'll tell this real quick, and then we'll go right down under cruisers. Uh, and then so he's having to. We only allowed like 7 or 8 in the class in each lab. I'm in first lab, which starts at 9 o'clock. All classes here lately have been starting at 9 o'clock, but and then it goes from 9 to 11.
Right.
But anyway, so and we're having to like social distance, and only one person when he puts us in groups when we do the labs, he puts us in groups, and only one person can work on whatever we're working on. Uh, and the rest of us has to stay back 6 feet away from that person while that person works on that thing, whatever we're working on. And I'm thinking, how do you expect us all to learn when we're 6 feet away from what? Because we're not able to physically be
See
right.
what's going on.
Yeah,
You can't
and
see it.
it's like me trying to work on a car 6 feet apart away from it. And I'm like, that's not going to work because you got to be right there on top of it. But anyway, I want to thank all my mods and everybody coming over from RVing with G. And thanks, RVing with G, for the raid. And let's go raid the Down Under Cruisers. And thanks, Lorraine, for coming up on the panel. You're
Thank you for
more,
having me.
you're welcome here anytime.
You're
I
welcome
use
on mine anytime.
my normal lives is Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I usually do
Okay.
a game called Kahoot, um, which is a trivia game. It's a where you can got multiple. Have you ever heard of it, Kahoot?
I think I have, but I don't think I've played it.
It's a trivia game, and it's you gotta select multiple choice. You got a choice of like four different answers, and so anyway, um, and then I usually do a panel talk afterwards after the game, and then I do a Sunday night live stream at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where people can come up on the panel and talk about their channel and just talk, just have a chit chat and just have a good time. So,
Sounds like fun.
and I usually try to do a midweek uh, um, talk at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. But here lately with school, I've not been able to do that.
Right.
Uh, so anyway, with that being said, let's go raid the Down Under Cruisers. And I think the
Okay,
link's
great.
already been dropped in the chat there. I
Are they in
believe.
the chat? Yeah.
Let's see. I nope. Hang on a minute. I meant to. I meant to do this one. Nope. And not what I wanted.
I can't connect
Trying
that
to-
way. I'll look them up.
I was trying to. Pin that message to the top. If somebody could share that link again, because it might have got in the way to where people can't see it. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming up and coming to the chat, and thank all the mods for keeping it family friendly. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Do you know how to leave studio?
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. I think you. I think you froze.
Yeah, I think I did too.
I can take you down.
All right.
Yeah. Um.